a conservative peer has called on HMRC to investigate companies who advertise for long-term unpaid interns and called for a ban on any placement that lasts more than 4 weeks. Chris Holmes, whose private member's bill to limit unpaid internships recently got its second reading in the Lords, said he wanted to bring clarity to an area muddied by companies and organizations that take advantage of the current legislation to exploit young people. He said a loophole in the law that allows for students to do up to a year's worth of unpaid work was further incentive for legislative change. Holmes's bill proposes a ban on placements lasting more than 4 weeks, and the peer has a question tabled to Lord Henley, the Parliamentary Under-Secretary of State at the Department for Business, Energy and Industrial Strategy, in the Lords on Monday. "I'm seeking to push HMRC to do more in terms of investigations, because so much of this is hidden in plain sight," Holmes told The Guardian. "There are adverts for unpaid internships that HMRC could follow up. They could get into dialogue with that business or employer or organization. I'll be asking Lord Henley whether he believes the current legislation is satisfactory, and whether they have considered legislative reform," Holmes said. "In the light of lower rates of reporting and the lower rates, if any, of actual prosecutions, isn't it clear that the law is not working? We need further work from HMRC. HMRC is responsible for enforcing the National Minimum Wage, NMW, in the UK. Employers have to pay their interns the NMW if the intern is classed as a worker, which includes taking on tasks that a paid employee would otherwise do, having a contract or having been promised a work contract in future. If there is no contract, an intern is more likely to be classified as a worker if their placement lasts longer than a few weeks, and if the business relies on their specific skills. But there is an exemption when the intern is a student at an accredited college or university and will be receiving academic credit, or if they are only shadowing an employee and not carrying out any work themselves. But there is no legal definition of an intern," he added, "and internship agreements can be written in such a way that a person understands they really have to be present and perform certain functions, but in no way can it be construed as a contract of service. Why would they want to give you a contract? The less documentation the better from their point of view, because they can just go, he or she was just there, just shadowing, watching how stuff happens here." Holmes said it was an issue of diversity and inclusion, and ensuring that everybody has an equal opportunity to do whatever they choose in life. Unpaid internships, he added, were particularly rife in fashion and the media. Some very prominent fashion houses have been rightly called out in the past for this practice while espousing a particular view of equality, he said. Holmes is clearly not alone in his thinking. The actors and designers Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen settled a lawsuit by agreeing to pay $140,000 to 185 interns who were part of a class action against their parent company, Dual Star Entertainment.